Obviously, you don't need to give me feedback on my gameplay. I know that it really couldn't have been better than it was, and that
You're a god, Steven. You're absolute Chad.
was probably the best Cleric gameplay you've ever seen.
Do you want to give them some preface too?
No,
Stephen just had eye surgery. Like, he can't even see them. Give the man a break.
No.
He's the best. He's the best player in the world.
I think when it mattered and we got into the oh shit moments, I pulled off that just fine.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And, you know,
hey, you did your job.
Abilities because I forget what the icons are associated with the class. So, anyways, you don't need.
I was backseating you a little bit, but you did your job. You guys passed.
To comment on my glorious gameplay. I already know you all love it. That's fine. Keep that out of the commentary. This is hopefully not a sign of things to come, but there's a corpse next to you.
I just walked over it.
I didn't get any heals.
What happened to this guy?
While the seal over time is in effect, it'll prevent their death and heal them for a flat amount and dispel itself. So it's kind of like a... Oh!
Oh, wow.
I don't think it works with nuke. But...
Oh, no.
That's funny. Just base planted.
Hey. Okay. Without further ado, let's begin to watch the July development update of 2023, where we watch the Cleric update. It's like the second Cleric update, so time to watch that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another day in Vera. Happy to be with you guys again. I can't believe that it is the end of July, but we have a fun presentation to show you guys today, an update on the Cleric kit, and also a little bit of a showcase for the Highwayman Hills area, which is a very cool point of interest. I am joined by two of our glorious designers whom you have spoken with before in the past. They are our resident Dr. Bucky. Bucky, how you doing, buddy?
Good, I'm doing great.
POV view.
Sir.
Like
and
it.
We also have our glorious combat designer, Mr. Trad. How you doing, Trad?
Doing great. Happy to be here again.
Yeah, happy to have you guys both. So obviously, clerics are near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. We had a little bit of a showcase for the cleric.
What a sick ass rhino.
Gosh, when was that? That was last year? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
A few live streams ago,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a few, and we were in. I think we were in that cemetery area, and we were kind of showcasing some things.
I remember.
The community gave us a lot of great feedback, and your guys' team on the combat strike team have now had an opportunity to kind of go through, analyze, and collect that feedback, incorporate it as part of our development process, and we have a little bit more extensive of a kit today to show. I think we have roughly 18 abilities, or how many abilities are we showing off today?
18?
Yeah, somewhere between 16 to 18 on there.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Banger.
Very excited to.
That's a lot of abilities,
Big Increase
actually.
Gives a much more comprehensive look at the core kit for the archetype, which is super exciting. So, before we begin, why don't we perhaps talk a little bit about?
It's got to be like starter armor,
the
right?
area that we are in. And by the way,
It does not look.
yes, this is a noble warhorn. He's a big fella. He's excited to get in there. He's heard that there is some
A wizard hat, sick.
minotaurs that have taken up residence in what used to be, I think, a bandit camp. Look at how oh, we don't have sounds associated with them yet. Sorry, guys. Sound effects.
I'll do some.
Okay, there.
That was pretty good.
Hold on, wait,
That was pretty good.
Time that. We gotta time that right. Hold on. 3, 2.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Bucky.
That should just be the sound
That is why you were
effect.
Dr. Bucky. No, but tell us a little bit about this place, the Highwayman Hills.
Oh, this is
So
sick.
we're venturing into the Highwayman Hills, a place.
Oh, that lighting
for,
change.
bandit activity. Always dangerous to run a caravan through here. Even just looking at these like walls.
Look at the
here,
god
you
rays.
get, jumped at any moment. But yeah, so used to be resided by bandits, but now there's a story arc that's been triggered. So the
cool.
Shattercloud tribe of Minotaur have recently seized control of the area, so we're going to be seeing a lot of Minotaur
minute.
activity now instead.
Wait a minute. So basically, they have story arcs that change the monsters and everything around. That's so sick. The world's gonna be so dynamic, and it could be based off of your node too. So like if you don't level this node or like a certain node, then you might not see this story. That's kind of insane. Oh, that's really insane.
And that's part of the whole, how story arcs are intended to kind of change the environment, the world. Obviously we saw this a little bit with the Tower of Carfin presentation, but the spawners are adaptive based on the state of the world, and that's
so sick
of these story arc conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
and if
look at
we're
the
able
leaves.
to, complete our quest here, we might further change as well.
Wait, what?
This is absolutely beautiful. I can't believe Environment has done a tremendously glorious job in creating. I love the canopy through the approach into the Highwayman Hills zone. It is super cool.
Yeah,
Time to rain down arrows in this little passageway.
Enough goblins. As Tristan knows. So
wait, now that I'm thinking about caravans and like the like bandits like and whatnot, if you're riding a caravan through there and it has like that like little circle around it, the PvP circle that like allows you to opt in attack or defense or whatever of the caravan, is that circle infinitely high? Because like, could we be up on the top of that mountain and be within that free PvP circle of like attack or defense? I hope so. I don't know how that works. I would imagine that it's just like that zone goes, it scales all the way up to the highest height. It doesn't stop you. Good. Well, I guess that would make sense because they have like dragons and other like flying mounts possible. So you would think that they would. I guess we'll test it in alpha too.
Or what are we seeing here? Ooh, location entered. Okay, so we actually now.
This is a new place. We haven't been here before.
My noble.
Although it looks pretty close to the Freehold one.
Might get dangerous.
You've been a trusted.
God, I love
student,
that
my
map.
friend, but this area is just far too dangerous for your kind. So just hang out here, and we'll be back.
I like how Steven roleplays.
Okay. So I think what's been
There's a dead guy on the ground.
in the
You
past,
gonna heal him?
The community has enjoyed is when we kind of spend a little bit of time.
Oh, the
up
footsteps.
front, going through each of these abilities, describing what they do, and then we can do some gameplay and kind of show off the kit in action. We might want to take a volunteer because I know this is all healing centric for the most part, which means we'll actually have to have a target. Bucky, would you like to be that target?
Sure, yes. Gotta do it right here in the shade. Is this good?
Oh my god, this is hopefully not a sign of things to come, but there's a corpse next to you.
I just walked over it.
I didn't get any heals.
What happened to this guy?
Didn't get any heals,
dude.
man.
Hey, where's the resurrection?
Happened.
Oh my god.
That doesn't look like a bandit.
Only we
Is
can.
that a quest? That's got to be a quest, yeah?
Okay, so let's start off.
They just have a random dead guy on the
this
ground?
kit. What is our first ability that we have?
Which one are you looking at? Mend here?
It looks like, yeah, I'm looking at men.
Okay.
It says that it instantly launches a healing projectile toward target ally. Each charge of the ability consumed after the first has no mana cost. Okay, that's nice. And it
Okay.
restores an increasing amount of mana to the caster based on the number of missing charges. Consecutive uses of the ability will gain bonus healing. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about the intent here.
This is kind
Wait, so it regenerates mana as you're healing somebody? That sounds OP as hell.
efficient maintenance heal that you can fall back on if things aren't, hitting the fan too hard. So if you're
Oh, that's
if your
so
target's not-
sick. It's a missile. He regains 10 mana. It only costs 20 mana, though.
not gonna not
Plus 92. That's a pretty good heal.
in immediate danger of dying, this is a lighter weight heal that is much more efficient on your mana resource.
Wait, it's adding the even more mana. That added 25 mana. That like fully heals him up. And he's just constantly got this thing going. That's so good.
Just keep damaging myself so you can heal me.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty nice and comfortable to use. And see the little floating projectile.
Obviously, this isn't
Not
balanced,
great
work
for,
in
like,
progress, etc.,
a
etc.
Super reactive.
100
situation
heal is
because
pretty
they have
good.
Travel time, but
But you still
They've got 2k
use those-
HP.
Yeah.
it's more like a predictive heal, right? Like when you don't need to immediately respond to a bad situation.
And just to keep in mind, guys, as always, this is very necessary for us to say, this is still a work in progress. We are working towards our Alpha 2. You're going to see the state of the UI is not in its final form. Same is true for the visual effects and everything else, right? Everything is always...
Those visual effects are good, though.
And kind of refinement, or excuse me, when we get to that state.
They're very clear, and they don't take up a lot of space.
This is a pretty useful ability.
That's really clear. I like that.
Leave this in between your normal rotation, yeah?
Yeah,
It heals a
so,
lot.
one of the reasons this came to be for the kit is in the last version of the kit, we felt like, you were kind of swapping between cooldowns because you just used whatever was up, but you didn't really have a comfortable fallback. And so this one serves as more of a filler activity that's a little more...
I wonder how that works in action combat.
More spammable. A lot of healers we've played in past games, they have that heal, that core heal that you can just kind of use back to back, and that one is filling that role to a degree.
That's pretty sick. It's like your
cool.
auto attacks for heals.
Oh yeah, between this one and then the next one, Deliverance, they're both kind of like your core filler heals that you're constantly, like your bread and butters, really.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Deliverance, let's talk a little bit about that. This is, it says a held ability, which means that it's a variable charge value, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah. I really like this one. I'm sure there's something out there, but I've never actually played a healer that had a cast heal that you could release at variable points of time, and it just, to me, it seems like it fits
684.
Heal really well because of its reactive nature. So you can release it, you can kind of hold it in, if your target's, you're almost playing kind of Russian roulette with your target, you're pushing it to the last second to get the most value.
Yeah, it's a really nice tool to have to be able to cook the heal, basically. If you think the target's going to take some more damage, you get more value out of it. The other cool thing about this
Is there a cooldown for it? I didn't see the
based
cooldown.
on the missing health of the target. So if you cast it on me now when I'm at full health, it'll heal for a lot less than when I'm pretty low.
That's super cool. Whoops. Okay, let's try you super low. So, holding it full length, you go from about 780 to about 1400.
And that would have been even more if his health were even lower. So
Oh, really?
if you were at
I'll get super low here.
yeah, so you'll see an even bigger. So it scales on two axes basically. It's scaling on both missing
I'm at
health,
9.
9
scaling on both
HP.
missing health, and the amount of time you charge it. So there's a lot of
Oh!
1307 heal?
yeah.
That's
I like the
massive.
Russian roulette
That's like a percentage based heal.
aspect of it. I can just imagine the amount of friction that's going to cause in parties when the cleric player wants to maximize the efficacy of the heal versus the player recipient that's like, whoa, man.
That drama between tanks and healers is what MMOs are all about.
Can't you fucking heal right?
That's like standard staple interaction. Okay, cool. So that's a super cool ability. Talk to me a little bit about Soothing Glow.
This is a bread and butter regen spell. You have 3 charges of it. You can either stack them all on one target, and they don't stack in healing, but they will stack in duration. So if you just want a really long duration heal on your tank, or regen on your tank, then you can do that. Or you can spread it out for more effective healing.
I wonder how it affects the
Like,
aggro.
all tick simultaneously on 3 different targets. So there's a couple different ways to use this.
Super cool. I love, obviously, HOTS are something you try to keep up often.
They had that one in Alpha 1.
Yep, 3
Yep,
charges.
3 charges.
It was a little bit different. It wasn't
so we
the
have a
duration
flash
/ charges
Talk
thing,
to me about the flash.
but it was a heal over
Another
time.
charge-based thing. This is actually the last one, so it's not like all the abilities. have
Everything
charges.
is charges, charges,
They
stacks
just-
on stacks.
They just happen to be very front-loaded here. But this is your last charge-based ability. This is an instant heal.
Okay.
The neat gimmick about this one is you can use it during other abilities. It's kind of like
It's not that big of a heal. Men's better.
OGCD, or an off-global cooldown. We don't actually have
Oh.
a global cooldown in the game right now, but it serves as that kind of thing where, for example, one way I like to use this is if you're charging Deliverance, you could even push it a little further by hitting that flash cure as you're charging up Deliverance.
What?
Now,
Oh,
presumably,
it's like an animation
want to
cancel.
flash cure while you're using Deliverance, unless you're afraid that they're gonna die.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Or you could also just
Okay.
let go of Deliverance and have it just go off right then and there. So you kind of have choices there, and whether you want to try to get maximum Deliverance value by throwing in a flash gear or just making sure your target doesn't die.
Cool. That's super cool. I like that kind of oh shit button, so to speak.
Exactly.
Right? Where essentially, you know,
Like, oh shit, he's dying.
me, as a person who's mained healer often, it's always a very tense situation when you're waiting for that massive group heal cast time to go off, or whatever massive burst heal that you're trying to do, and you're puckering up because who knows if they're going to live during that cast time. But if you need to, you can always pop a little bit of flash cures.
Yeah, it's fun to use.
Minute. Yeah.
Huh.
You're going to say, Trent?
Yeah. I was just saying it's fun to use. It's like a nice little emergency tool, because a lot of the time you're as a healer, you're like waiting for that heal to go off. You're like, come on, and sometimes you miss it. It feels a little bad, and this is this is an answer to that.
Yeah, super cool. Okay, next one we have here, the Resplendent Beam. Talk to me about that one.
Beam me up, Scotty.
We've seen an iteration of that in the past,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, this is a returning one, but it's seen a little bit of change.
Like the chain heal, right?
Before it was just you popped it and they would do a chain heal. Now you can use it on Bucky. Just hit it, like tap the button.
Just a tap.
Yep.
Tap a
Little tappity tap.
There you go. And it's so you can use it as a quick single target heal that way. But you can also charge it. So this is another held ability, and the longer you charge it, the more targets it will bounce between.
It's a long cooldown.
So if you do it again and you hold it, you'll see that.
I should probably set my cooldowns to 0 for this portion of the.
So is Deliverance just 0 cooldown? He didn't already have this set?
It has the you can use it just instant cast to get a quick heal off on someone, or you can decide to charge it up basically and have it bounce to a bunch of people.
If you charge it all the way, it should bounce between all of us. A little triangle.
So let me try the quick cast again real quick.
Okay.
So that's the quick cast, and then I'll charge it up.
Nice.
Oh,
Wait, plus 229 on both of them.
Cast again.
How much was it on the single person?
Right, so that's the quick cast, and then I'll.
So it doesn't lose healing. You just give it to more people.
Ah, super cool. Okay. I like how I'm just like with the animation.
Does it also heal the caster since it goes back to him?
Yeah, animators do some pretty cool work.
That's cool. Very nice. Okay, I like the dual purpose nature of that. And obviously this is a great point of feedback for those of you in the audience who are kind of watching and taking a look at this class kit. Do you like the versatilities on a bespoke basis per ability, where you kind of have alternate types of functionality that's up to the user to determine based on the situation? Or do you like more static use cases, right? Something that is very specific and you have to kind of use it for that situation.
Yes. I like it when I have less spells on my hotkeys and more ways to use them. I hate having to have 30 spells and have to have them all in the key bindings. I would rather just have like 10 to 20 max. Like even 20 is insane to me. Like if I'm using more than 5 abilities for like certain scenarios, I think it's weird. If I have 10, then that should be more than enough to like suffice for what I need. If you have like even 18, like the 18 that they have here, a lot of these are essentially doing the same thing, right? So you have the flash one, which is like an animation cancel, which is huge. Mend, which is like kind of like your go-to, which is actually probably the most OP spell that I've seen, because it was a massive heal, also giving you mana, and you were doing like you were being useful. Like it was way more useful than your hots. I guess you could like use your hots on your tank and then have that uptime be up pretty good, and then use your mending elsewhere. I don't know how much. I know healing was an insane aggro builder in Alpha 1. I don't know how it's going to affect anything. Obviously, nothing's balanced right now, so it doesn't really matter. And we'll test it in A2, but having too many heals might really fuck up the tank's aggroing. So I wonder how that goes. The Deliverance one seems really, really good for like a big heal, and you can even like let go of the charge early. So I think that's good. I think the chain lightning or the chain healing one doesn't seem that great. I guess it depends on how many people does it chain up to, right? And the channel seemed a little long, but maybe it's meant to do that because that heal was pretty good. But like if it's me, I just cast 2 mendings and then I switch over to another target, do another 2 mendings. That way my mana pool isn't hit, and I've healed all the targets about the same. I don't know. The chain healing one seems a little lackluster compared to the other ones. But maybe if it hits like 8 party members, then it's really good. So the more members, the more the chain healing helps. But yeah, I do enjoy having abilities be able to be more diverse, and I think the original spells are really, really good so far. I don't really see any issue with them. I don't see them being like OP or not, other than the mend one, but it is kind of like a cool niche. Like you are the healer. That is like what you're doing. I think the mana regen might be a little bit too high though. And if it does regen mana, the initial cost should be quite extensive. I don't know. We'd have to test it. I'd really have to play it, but I don't know.
That's a great question to get feedback on. Personally, myself, I think that providing the user a bit more flexibility and versatility in the use of these abilities makes for interesting gameplay, a lot of agency for the player to kind of move between. Okay, let's move to the next one. Bless Weapon. Talk to me about this.
Ooh.
This is one of my favorites. This is like basically a utility, a mana utility that you can use on either yourself or an ally. So it's kind of like a decision point of, do I want to, sacrifice some of my own mana resource management in exchange for helping out an ally? And one way I like to use this is I'll just kind of look at my own mana or someone else's, and it's like, oh, the tank's like really low. I'll throw this on them for now, and then I'll put it on myself later. The eventual idea, it's not set up this way currently, but the idea is you can like freely kind of switch it around between yourself and different party members. Right now, it's just on a cooldown.
Okay, so I'm going to use this on myself, and what effect are we going to see right now?
So it'll bless your weapon as it is appropriately named, and while that is...
I
you gave it to
Bucky's
me.
weapon.
Yep.
Yes, shoot!
So that means if Bucky were to attack an enemy, he would return mana per hit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess the only thing, maybe visual effects haven't been done yet at this point, but after that initial glow, I think the weapon should like emanate like a yellow highlight or something that like indicates that the weapon is blessed for the duration, instead of just having the buff on like their like right below their health bar, because you can definitely see that right up here. I pointed at my screen like a dumbass. This right here is the blessed weapon. It's this ability right here. You can see it on the buff, but I can't see it on the character. And maybe that's just because the visual effects model hasn't been updated yet, but that's what I'd like to see.
So we'll show that off when we get into Zemetic.
But it's only weapon combos.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool. All right. I see also we have here, let's go to Judgment. We have Judgment. We saw a version of this in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so Judgments, we since changed Judgments. Now it's a lot longer of a cast.
Okay. I think Judgment was the one where it was just instant cast and it was OP as fuck in the A1 because we were just like continuously casting Judgment in castle sieges, and it made Cleric literally the most OP class for that week before they utterly nerfed it.
It's similar where you can either cast it on an enemy to do a huge portion of damage, or you can cast on an ally to do a huge...
Oh no, Judgment was the fucking hammer. You would just throw it and it would do like literally 2,000 damage. It was gross.
So it's kind of a big charged nuke. Yeah.
Nice. You want to do some damage to
sorry.
yourself here? Let me show that off.
Yeah, we've juiced this
Let's
one up a bit.
It has received the juicing. Or, I'm sorry, apologies. The juice. The juice box. The juice box, thank you.
Wait, you don't like juicing?
Oh, whoops, that's the wrong one.
Nice little mend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
Super cool.
So not as big as Deliverance when they're fully charged Deliverance at low health, but it's still
That's
pretty
still
big.
pretty
And
big.
Even if they're high, it'll heal for the same amount. So
It was like a 3-second cast.
Nice. Okay, cool. What's this one? What's Communal Restoration?
Another one that's returning.
So, like, I guess my only qualm is, like, you're getting different very variable heals, but they're all essentially doing the same thing. They're just different channel times. And they all look good. They all look great. But you're just having more keys do the same thing. I'm not sure if I like that so much. I don't know.
Familiar cleric spell is this one's been changed a little bit too, but it's mostly the same. It's still a
Oh, that one's good.
heal.
That one I like
It's
that a
really
lot.
the only party-based heal that doesn't have any proximity, unless like they're really far. But it extends pretty far to all parties.
But yeah, that
It does
heal
a
was
direct heal. But
nothing.
it also has a hot component, so it's like, or again, not super responsive.
86
but it's
plus
very
18
valued,
over
especially in like an
like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's also giving some
Okay.
temporary hit points. You can see, I think, in the UI.
Oh, that's
A little bit
cool.
of temp HP.
Oh, let's see where that is.
I like the temp HP
Should
part.
be a little blue bar overlay on the health bars.
It's like a little shield. Okay, that's sick. Okay, so you have the plus 86 plus the
Okay, cool.
temp
So this can
HP.
overcast.
Exactly. Yeah. Once the effect expires, too, the temp health will go away. So if it wasn't,
That spell's really well
It's
done.
not-
That spell has a purpose. That's like
Feels like
outside of just healing.
Perhaps the instant health received from this might be a little low.
I think it's a
Is that
little
the
low.
intent,
I think it's
or
too
is it
a
low.
little low. And I mean, this obviously all these things are kind of
I feel like that heal should be like men's heal, and then men's heal should be this one. 'Cause this one has like a bigger part in like how you operate, especially like as a group. Like maybe if you give it a bigger heal, you give it a bigger cooldown, but I think this one is probably the best heal so far.
early iterations,
Yes.
nothing super
Yes.
balanced. Things are kind of balanced, but like for this one, it's like, okay, the value is one, you don't have to worry about positioning of your team. It just hits everybody. And if in an 8-person
Good.
group, that kind of adds up
Yeah.
a lot, plus the hot effect and all the other stuff going on.
Cool. Super cool.
Yeah,
what's
just
this
make
next one?
the
consecrating.
make the heal stronger and make the cooldown
This one's
longer.
pretty sweet.
I think it's
So this one's a frontal cone.
supposed to
heal,
be a
so you don't have
big
you don't need
one.
a target for this one. You can just cast it and it'll shoot it forward based on the clear.
oh my
It'll
god,
heal
that's
everyone it
sick.
hits, all allies, and then it'll also damage enemies it hits too. So
Oh,
it
it
has
damages too. Nice.
It's AOE damage in.
Wow.
That's sick.
Cool.
That's
Great.
dope.
In contrast to
I wonder what the cooldown is.
communal restoration, this one's a bit more powerful. Also does damage. So that's kind of the trade-offs. Is you have to position. You know, it costs you in your positioning, but then it's in exchange for a bit more power.
Something we
Very nice.
talked about.
You don't even
I
have to
think it's
position
good
that
yet,
hard.
is making it split between all the targets hit. So if you hit a lot of targets, it'll do less, and like if you hit half enemies, half allies, it'll split the total.
That's
But we haven't
interesting.
done that part yet.
Very cool. Very cool.
Splitting. Oh, I mean, it was only a plus 299 to both of them. I wonder if they make it like a really big thing, by splitting the damage or whatever. How they adjust those numbers, but that's balancing that obviously isn't here yet.
All right, talk to me a little bit about Divine Flare.
Yeah, this one is another kind of what I refer to as like action heals. Consecrating Wave and
Ooh,
Divine Flare,
AoE one.
they're heals that you have to aim in world. So this one, if you put it on the ground, it's like a delayed.
Wait, does it actually go that
AoE,
far? That's
If
insane.
you want to try that on Bucky or something, and after
Bucky, you look like you need some health.
I'm dying.
All right, here. Let me help.
Dude, he's got some really good voice acting skills.
you gotta get in it.
He's like, go fucking get your heal. Go chase it.
Oh, that's so good.
So what's interesting about
You you sadist, Steve. Oh, you want to heal? How about you go over here? That's actually such a good trick. You have your healer literally. You have your healer teach your ADC, or like your attack damage dealers to like where to position. Like, oh, you need heals? Maybe you should be in this fucking position, you piece of shit. That's so funny. I love it. That's the best ability. That's the best one there.
that one is it would also split amongst targets. So I got a bigger heal there because Bucky didn't make it in time.
Oh.
It is kind of a funny little like mind game going there of, oh, I'm gonna jump in there, but it's at the expense of
Yeah.
his health because I'm stealing it.
Tanks only, please, in this AOE.
Yeah.
Get these trash mages out.
The more social conflict dynamics going on.
Oh god, that's so cool.
I like the
Oh, Steven's almost out of mana.
excuse me. Had to cough for a second. I like the delayed functionality in that ability. I think that's super cool, especially for an AoE.
Yeah, you have to get the timings right.
And telegraphing the location, obviously, with the ground-based decal for the party is
Definitely a
super fun,
very
especially
proactive
in
one.
weird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's super cool. All right, awesome. Let's talk a little bit about Barrier.
Yeah, so Barrier is the classic kind of shield spell you'd expect to see from a healer kit. So, but with the added twist that you have to sacrifice a bit of your own health as the healer to cast it. So it doesn't actually use mana. I don't
Oh.
think it just you sacrifice a portion of your health to directly give to another player every time.
And it's a temp HP.
Okay.
Wait, did he just drink?
Every time. It doesn't actually use mana. I don't think it just you sacrifice a portion of your health to directly give to another player.
Who's he drinking? Oh, mana potion right there.
Health to directly
Where did he pick that up from?
cast it. So it doesn't actually use mana. I don't.
Oh,
think.
it's on his
You sacrifice
bar.
a portion of your health to directly give to another player every time.
Oh, that's so sick.
Okay, I like that. That's cool.
Give him 200 mana per drink.
And it's a clear delineation, obviously, in the style of the shield bubble, so that
Oh, I do like that.
can
That bubble is nice.
distinguish between, other bubble types, right? Like the mage's bubble.
Yeah, we can
Very
do a
cool.
comparison.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah, here you go.
they're different.
Aw,
That's
you're
so
bubble
cool.
brothers.
That's actually so cool.
Do you guys bounce off of each other?
Double pals.
Can the mage
Yeah,
give
bubble
give
buddies.
his
Bubble
barrier
buddies
to
in,
somebody
yeah.
else, or is it only on the mage?
Here, have some help. Okay.
Here,
let's
here's your
talk a
little
bit
reward.
About the chains of restraint.
Yeah, this one's
We've already
pretty
seen this
similar
one.
to what it was before. It does damage over time, so it's a really good, it's pretty much the primary AoE damage tool of the cleric, which isn't really the primary role of the cleric, but they get some. And it also applies stagger, so it kind of provides some offensive support. Stagger, for example, synergizes very well with some tank abilities, which what it effectively does is extends the duration of a trip, which is a knockdown. So if you've stacked up a bunch of stagger on an enemy and then trip them, they spend more time hard CC'd than if they hadn't been staggered at all.
I like that animation.
And obviously,
Those
as you
visual
said,
effects
guys,
are nice.
Just so you're aware, when it comes to the development of the abilities, there is a specific pipeline that includes ideation into the bare bones kind of standing up with the functionality with design, and then it moves to animation to provide final animation sets, and then it moves to visual effects, and then it moves to audio effects, and visual effects and audio effects that tend to be at the end of that pipeline are usually the things that get that still need works, that are still heavily works in progress. So you're seeing the visual effects now, but obviously that will change in the future. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Defiant Light.
Yeah, so this one's a really good tool for saving someone who's in danger of dying. It's very powerful.
I'm in danger.
Yeah.
Which one? Okay.
So it applies, first of all, it applies a huge heal over time to the target. But if they die while this heal over time is in effect, it'll prevent their death and heal them for a flat amount and dispel it itself. So it's kind of like a... Oh!
Oh wow!
I don't think it works with Nuke, but...
Oh no.
That's funny. Just
Sorry.
AIDS planted.
Oh,
You said that
it'll keep you alive after you die? How about I kill you real quick?
keep you alive. I
We'll
thought-
see if it actually works.
You lied to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to. You said it'll keep you alive, so the first thing that came to mind is let me kill you
The
to
end
demonstrate.
Yes, it is. If that had happened and that was real damage, it
Oh
he
shit.
would have prevented the death. The effect would be removed, and then he would receive a heal up to 25% of his HP.
Awesome.
I don't trust this
okay,
cleric.
Cool.
Just go alone, tread.
Is that what happened to the other dude behind him?
That's
They just
Defiant
nuked him?
Light. Not as defiant as we thought it would be, but hopefully it will be when we get into combat. Okay, healing
It
touch.
just doesn't
Talk
work
to me a
with
little bit
GM
about this.
powers. Healing
That's
touch.
That's a melee.
It's
heal,
grayed out.
Basically, you have to be up next to your target, but it is an insta cast, and it's
That's still pretty
fat heal.
decent distance.
So
Hold on, I'm gonna go back.
You have to be up.
Right here, it's grayed out. And right here. Was that like 5 feet? It doesn't say the range on the ability, but I imagine it's something like 5 feet.
Next to your target, but it is an insta cast.
That's still a pretty close range.
So again,
like,
it's kind of like Consecrating Wave.
Not standing on top of
It's being
them.
costed more on its positioning, but rewards. Maybe if some of our more melee built clerics would really want to lean into this, because they have that positioning advantage for it.
Oh, that's a massive heal too.
See, look at that. What I taketh, I giveth. There you are.
That was really good.
This one combos really nicely too with the next ability, the Wings of Salvation, because it'll let you get into melee and then you can follow it up with a healing touch on if they're low.
Yeah, this is essentially an ally gap closer.
Ally gap closer.
So this is, you must have an ally targeted, and definition of an ally is going to be any non-combatant player and non-mob NPC.
Correct.
Okay.
Wait, but what if you're in combat? Yeah, what if you're in combat with your allies? You can't use this ability?
Ooh, that's.
Oh wait, that's
cool.
massive.
Oh, it's missing, I think it's missing audio.
That's a huge dash.
Oh, no.
Oh, and it's got a phoenix sound?
The
Okay, wait,
Phoenix.
we gotta give it the full Phoenix sound. Hold on.
Their signature Phoenix
A
ability.
little bugged.
Oh, the audio
That's a
might
cool
be little
animation,
bit
though.
bugged, but that's okay. As we said, all things are worked in progress.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice, there it is.
Try the one
We
too
got that
with the
full.
healing touch follow up.
Probably only working at
Okay,
like
so
certain
the T, the
ranges.
Shift T. Got it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
There you go.
combo.
What if I
do like
T
that.
while flashing and then Shift T? Hold on, wait a
Oh,
second.
I haven't even tried.
oh, that sounds awesome.
Things are about to
Incoming.
break.
Because it's an animation cancel
Hold
with the
on.
flash heal or flash heal.
Oh,
Oh, that's
So
big.
fast, I can't even.
super healing.
That's sick. That's awesome.
It sort of worked.
I
I had to use like
saved
2 hands.
He used 2 hands.
Okay, cool.
Like top tier game.
So we got Wings of Salvation, and then I'm looking.
Steven's too
here,
good.
We have Smite, Condemn, and Divine Infusion. We can't show Smite or Condemn. We'll use those on enemies here in a second. But let's talk about Divine Infusion. And this one is a bigger topic.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the class resource and then how this plays into it. You'll notice if you look at the top left, there are now 3 resource bars for the cleric.
Oh yeah.
That third one you might have seen going up and down as as Steven's been healing. But this resource regenerates based on how much healing and damage you've been doing over the last 10 seconds. So the more radiant damage and the more you're healing, and it's only effective healing, so you can't overheal for this. But the more you're doing that, the faster this resource will build up. And the way you spend this resource is on an ability called Divine Infusion. And what this is if you have enough resource to complete the cast of a spell, you can use this during the cast of the spell and it will auto-complete that spell. I've never actually seen a mechanic like this in a game before. It was a pretty cool idea that came up.
So this is like another animation cancel thing?
Very cool. Okay, so essentially, I am gonna build up some of the unique.
So you use this on your channeling
I'm gonna
abilities
do that
most
by
likely.
Healing Bucky. And then I am going to use a long cast ability, and I'm going to attempt to use Divine Infusion to complete that cast sooner than normally would be possible. And just to be clear, if I were not to, let's say, use that ability, then I would have a passive benefit for my character while that energy is maintained that amplifies some spell efficacy as a healer.
Right. Also, you can tell that his health is regenerating about like 1 every like 1.5 seconds, somewhere around there. So that's about how fast you're gonna get without a
Let
healer.
me try
Very
to
classic WoW-ish.
get some of this stuff. Whoops. Oh, I got
We're
one.
basically saying you need
So it's
heals or health
gradually earning
potions.
it over time.
Yeah, like when you heal, it kind of gives you some generation of this resource. Then it kind of rewards you the actual resource over time. So you
Like
can see it
5.
Okay.
fill.
Oh, it gives it over
We've
time.
been referring to this as like a heat mechanic, right? So it's not like a direct instant translation of you heal this much and you get this resource immediately. It's like ramping up your region and
Rumble.
build up rate.
Okay.
Seems like it does it like
Alright.
if you cast one
Now,
ability, it'll give you like
I'm going to
increments over
use
time.
Judgment, and then I'm going.
Even
to
if it
pop
is
my
just
Divine
one
Infusion.
ability, it's not like base per ability.
Whoops.
That's bad. I don't think it would work
Shift
with
one.
men.
Oh, look at
Okay.
that. And it consumed some amount of it.
Oh, you were able to
Okay,
do two?
very cool. Yeah, I was able to
Cool.
do 2. I like that. Another oh shit button.
Yeah, true, actually.
Very cool.
I like that.
Cleric, this version of the Cleric has a lot
That
of
adds
tools in its
skill.
kit. Just to set expectations, that not any given Cleric build would probably have all of these things. You would spec into certain ones, most likely. We're still working that out.
Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look then at some of those more offensive abilities. Let us
Ooh, offense.
perhaps find
I want to see the cone one.
target here.
Got a group of Minotaurs
for
right
me
up
to
here.
Use smite and condemn. You think we can peel just one of them off?
We could. I could grapple
Let me
one.
actually heal you
Maybe
up.
heal me. Yeah. Trad could sleep the other two actually too.
Oh, and let me set my cooldowns so that I'm not cheating too much. Back.
So I thought 60 feet on the sleep was like, or actually it's like 90 feet. I thought it was insane, but it's actually just the D&D spell. So they're literally just taking like D&D or like Pathfinder spells and implementing them into the game. And that's how that works. And I'm not sure if it's intended like that or if it's like it seems like the sleep is guaranteed, but it's not guaranteed in D&D because you have saving throws or HP. So I think you either balance that by the range or you balance it by saying you can't sleep enemies with over this amount of health or some other variation of it. Like it has a chance to fail against like certain enemies. I don't know. I feel like that's a way to balance it. But the easiest way to do it is just decrease the range.
Back to standard.
Want to sleep the back two, Trad, and I'll grapple the front one.
Sure.
It's like, look how far he sleeps,
Alright,
this
and then
guy.
I'm going to use... what
This
is
guy's
smite?
far
First,
as
before
fuck.
we do that. What is smite?
Just rolled away. I like that.
It's just a... Well,
Like Tower
you
Shield
can
is
use it
also
two different
sick.
ways, as is a running theme with a lot of our abilities, but you can use it from a range, and it'll have a cast time and just do damage to the target. And if you use it in melee, it's an instant cast. So again, one of those things that you get a little more benefit for if you're up front.
Okay, so it's going to apply a stack of burning and deal instant damage to the target. Okay, and then just real quick, condemn is a straight up just stun.
Correct.
Casted stun.
All right, very cool. Okay, so in that case, let me start by casting judgment on it, perhaps.
Okay.
While you prepare to sleep those two rain callers.
Okay.
Okay,
Go.
ready? Casting judgment.
Oh, no, that was so sick. The mage. He like pulls like the sand out of his like component pouch. He just blows a kiss. And they sleep.
All right.
That's so cool.
Okay, we're-
He's
we're
also
good.
super far
Okay,
away, by the way.
Grab it. Good luck. All right.
Okay, that was a smite. Oh, that's the
Oh,
smite.
That's kind of cool.
What's condemned do? Oh, he's just knocked over. Okay, so he like
Oh,
bent
that's very
over.
cool.
Those are some really good animations. Hey, look at the ball. I do like the electricity orb. It does look pretty good. It just keeps going. It doesn't like magnetize them, so that's pretty cool. Oh, they got little bubble shields now? Okay.
Very cool.
I want to see him use the little circle, the half circle.
Hang of this.
Okay.
Well, I noticed that on this wand, I'm getting some health back a little bit.
Yeah, you got a +1. Huh.
This has some minimal lifesteal or something.
Yeah,
I think
is that the one from
It's
Carfin?
like a Carfin wand, yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
Little passive life leech.
Vampiric wand.
Very cool. All right, so I noticed that we have a quest in this area. Or what is this? This is not a quest. This is a story arc.
Yeah, so we're going to try and go through this area, and we're looking for, I think the first part of the quest is a bag. You're on the quest, right, Steven? Looking for a backpack?
Yes, I am on the quest. So let me just, here, why don't we just stand here real quick. Up near the...
God, that distance, that draw distance is so sick. Is that the Tower of Carfin way out in the
That does
distance?
look really cool.
It's an old abandoned ruin.
Yeah, this is just a beautiful area. I mean, it's, you know, I love what the environment team has done. The ruins, the god rays, everything. Great job here. So what are we doing next?
The
What
leaves
is,
falling down are
this
so
quest?
pretty.
Obviously,
Also,
some
that
bandits
little
have been
lantern with that
expelled from the area.
walkway is
There's
so
minotaurs
nice.
and whatnot. What are we doing here?
Yeah, so
Area
we're
looks so
kind of coordinating with one of the bandit
pretty.
leaders. So I think we're gonna have to find his bag to.
Bandit leaders
Yep.
find bag.
We got to fight through some minotaurs first.
Okay, all right, cool.
Bandit leaders,
I got your back. You
aka
just
Minotaurs.
do your
Ooh,
thing,
he just knocked him
I
down.
got you.
We got
Is he a
war
fighter?
birds, too.
Oh, meanwhile, Steven, he's like, I got you, and then immediately pulls another mob.
I brought some friends because no, you're good.
It wouldn't be Steven without pulling extra mobs. He said, "You're good. I got
Look at
you."
me. Oh, he's charging.
Oh, he mauled you. He knocked
Ooh,
you,
nice
knocked
chain
you
of
out.
lightning.
I got knocked over a little bit. I can knock him down too.
Yeah.
Use your chains. And the art.
Nice, very nice ball lightning. Okay, Trad doing.
What is that? War
deeps.
sheep? War grizz?
Here, I can help you out with the deeps.
The spring collar's just on you.
Well, it
Okay.
knows who the real threat in the party
Yeah.
is, Bucky.
He's aggroed onto Steven.
This Gris has so much health. Oh,
Ooh, the smite.
oh nice.
Said, heal me
Flash
up.
cure.
Got you. Flash cure.
Flash cure.
Oh,
Look
nice.
at that maximum efficacy on
Nice. Deliverance.
the deliverance. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
another burr.
There's a bear.
Oh no.
Sleeping it.
He said sleeping it
Don't
as we
get
about
there.
to do more damage to it. Nice.
We're good.
This Gris has so much health.
You're doing pretty good though.
Okay, mana consumption's not too bad so far with the kid. Of course, as you guys all know, oh God, it's standing. It's sensing you. It can smell the chocolate in your pocket.
What's that?
Oh God. The mana consumption not too bad. Now, obviously, I know we haven't gone through really a balance pass between mana consumption and cooldowns and health return. So, as you guys are watching, just keep that in mind. You know, this is work in progress. We're really trying to stand up the core functionality of the kit and getting its playstyle to represent the role, right? Especially
Right.
within synergy of the Holy Trinity. Hey, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
You handled that grouping pretty well.
Thank you. Thank you. Got some good coordination there.
Me.
We almost got him. All right, there we go.
Meanwhile, Steven says, "You did good.
there's two more.
Let's do some more."
Just bringing them over to you. You know, I don't want my tank to have to run so much, right?
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Or should I be like one of those other tanks, like, you touch the mobs, you take it.
How dare you! Don't you ever
Get out of my party.
Okay, there you go.
You know, those types of tanks, and I know they're out there. But if you are forcing someone else in the party to heal, it's because you're not keeping up pace.
Ooh.
True. Facts.
Ooh. Very true. This is a nice little area. Okay, we're just taking a seat here.
Yeah, you know, just
There's another dead
resting out,
body.
get my mana back.
Taking
Is it because the Minotaurs took it over?
Nice.
The views of the
So, okay. Talk the views of this shed. I was looking behind me. I'm looking
Oh.
behind me. I don't just look at a
Dude, the
shed.
shadows are so much better than they were in A1.
So, so talk to me a little bit about UI versus action healing, right? Obviously, I have mained healers in the past. One of the things I enjoy between the predictive nature of healing and the reactive nature of it is that, you know, it's very two different tempos, and I like both of them, right? If I have to, you know, kind of. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, is that the bag?
What is this? This is a backpack.
Is that a Splint's bag?
I don't touch bags that I don't own. Does one of you guys want to?
Okay, should I do it?
Steven, you are a devilish DM. I know you are because you think that's a mimic.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's see. I'll
Splint's
watch and
bag.
see.
He must be nearby.
Does it update for me? I don't know.
You try clicking it.
Okay, I will say. Oh, it did. It just updated for me.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. All right, there we go. And as you guys know, obviously UI is very work in progress. Or we're still working on this. Okay, so
You still move it.
predictive
I like
versus
it.
kind of reactive healing. I like both, right? If I love the. Excuse me. I like the ability for me to kind of have control over the engagement and you know predict where I'm going to need to. This is a beautiful view. Where I'm going to need to heal, but I also like the kind of whack-a-mole gameplay where I'm, you know, interfacing with my. Oh, and let me see if I can move this. Actually, I want to. As a healer,
Beautiful.
I tend to have my
I always have those like really, really close.
bar a little bit closer. Do I want to move anything else? Hold on. I'll move my health.
Oh, that's
I feel like
awesome.
when I start a new fight, I tend to be a lot more
Steven's like me.
reactive.
He like
I'm
me
not
for
used
real,
to
for real.
damage patterns as much as a healer. But then as you kind of get more familiar and you kind of know what to expect, you can start being a lot more predictive, which can certainly improve your performance. And it's good to have tools for both in any kit.
Oh yeah, for sure,
A
totally.
little spazzy, but it
I see
works.
Splint across the way.
Oh, is he up there, up on that tower?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
See this rope he climbed up with, maybe.
Am I supposed to be killing? Are we killing him?
Oh,
Or
I
are we
do see the
I
rope.
think
We're
we're,
supposed to. Oh, we're
yeah,
getting a chest key.
yeah, we're gonna coordinate with him. He wants to get these minotaurs out of the bandit camp, so we have to work with the enemy a little bit here.
Oh, they're just like,
Okay.
oh, that's so
Going
cool.
down
I
the
love that they have
right
the little
over bed,
Yeah, we
parkour.
go through the front entrance. There's like a ton of minotaurs there, so I think we should try and fight.
Where's the fall damage? Do they have any? Oh, we
The
fucking
wolf,
rolled.
right?
Parkour.
Oh, okay. Little wolf.
Oh, this is so
Oh
cool.
gosh, you dodged my
How
attack.
about, how about,
Ooh, that wolf is
what about you, Trev?
fast.
What do you like about?
I like it. I like it.
I mean, I definitely like the more tools you give me, the better.
Oh, that's a
right?
big minotaur.
I think we'll have different specs that lean one way or the
That guy
other,
hurts.
for all kinds of different clerics. You know, obviously, as everyone knows, our class system will, you know, you'll be able to like pick your class based on primary and sub archetype, and different classes will lean into different directions. Some will be more predictive, and when we say predictive, like we're usually talking like hots and stuff are going to be a lot more predictive healers,
Or like
even-
pre-shielding, you know.
yeah,
or-
pre-shielding,
yeah.
that kind of thing. Whereas like reactive is going to be a lot more like, you know, instant heals that might, you know, be less efficient but more
Yo.
adaptable to certain situations.
Hey, your mage.
Heal me up, Steven.
I got you.
You got me.
I got you.
You're getting
got
you're getting that full deliverance value there.
Oh no, that's
I
Bucky.
think there's a bug on my targeting. I think I'm like the target switches off of you for some reason.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
Well, I see you're throwing in some condemns there, weren't you? You were stunning the
Shh. Yeah, I was doing a little bit of, you know.
yeah.
I was trying
Nice.
to help out.
That's good.
on the
That's I like when healers
DPS.
can help with the DPS and the healing's light.
Do we want to grab these guys?
I was not gonna go this way, but okay.
Oh. okay, wait.
You're fine. You're fine.
I
You're
know, we
fine.
got it, yeah,
Sleep
back
a
up.
couple of
sleep,
them.
sleep
in
him,
there,
sleep him.
but don't
Nice sleep, nice.
Oh my god.
Oh, sleep.
Well done.
Huge
well
sleep.
done.
That was massive.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we got
sneak
this.
around, but you know we can just blast
No,
to
no.
the front door. Why not?
We need to show off our ability.
Yes.
Maybe sleep again? Oh, nope.
Sleep has a
10
decent
seconds.
cooldown.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Sorry, you're doing some
Okay.
good kiting. Trying to.
I am totally kiting these guys.
Sorry, I got a couple. I got three.
Yeah,
in there.
okay. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Use
healers-
the chains,
healers will
use
be
the
generating
chains.
Threat, right? Like, I see they're noticing you're healing, so they're going after you. It's taking me a bit of effort to get them off
Aggro.
you.
I believe in you.
Okay. Is he trying to stun him?
See if I can sleep or stun that
Condemn.
guy.
Okay, he's stunned. Nice. Go, Bucky. Okay.
Health potion.
Okay, Steven.
All right, I got you. I
Heal
got you.
coming.
2 seconds for next to see.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can see through the
Alright,
others.
I think I got
Hey,
two of them. Yep.
let's go.
Perfect.
That's what I wanted to see. That's
Yeah, give
it.
Bless weapon too, so you can get some mana back.
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
Running low.
Left with that.
See,
Whew.
there's so many buttons. It's hard to like. You know you need to use them, but it's like hard to think of like what you need in the moment unless like your major heals are on cooldown. So I think their ideas are all really good, but like having too much can really, even though it's good for like combat, it's really hard to keep track of, which may just like give you more skill, but I don't know. it could definitely be the downfall of people that are unskilled. So I guess I don't really see a problem with it. Like this amount of abilities is fine. I think going over this might be a bit too much. Like having like these as your core abilities with like maybe like some niche ones. But yeah, looks good to me so far. And it looks fun and it looks fun to play. I'm not sure how like high of a level this is supposed to be or if this is supposed to be like an 8-person content. But this looks fun. Like I would love to play this.
All right.
Look at that. Easy peasy lemon
Wasn't even
squeezy.
close.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Any other types of sayings we want to add to that? Performance?
Not even close, baby.
Yes.
Not even close, baby.
Great job, great job.
Yeah, well done. I didn't even get to do my like wings of salvation, jump to, and boom.
Oh, very good.
Look at that.
Such a good combo.
It's clean.
So-
Clean kill.
Yeah,
So it does
let's
work
go.
in combat. So he is in combat and it worked. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we were gonna sneak around. Actually,
Yeah.
let's do sneak around. I want to sneak. I like that.
Yeah.
Little,
Oh,
Think. No. Stop.
Wait, there's
Okay,
more.
where
There's
we
more
going?
mobs. There's more wolves.
there we go.
One at a time, one step at a time here.
Don't do anything after.
Not get all crazy here.
No, we're good. We're good. Yeah, let me just sleep.
chillin', being
Put
chillin'.
him down.
Oops, that was an accident. That's an F. I think I
Got
just
another
used a-
wolf spawn too.
Oh man, these wolves spawn pretty quickly.
Okay, there we go. Not too
You
bad.
shift 3.
come down,
You
bitch.
shift 3.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite ability.
Sign
that
it
like-
for
We didn't have to do any of that.
Oh,
Aw.
Listen,
But
we're
we did.
farming.
But then, how else would we not? How else would we
True.
farm?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tread,
we got
come on,
some
bro.
XP, we got some loot.
oh, nice.
Ooh, this is cool. Okay, so like
I like this area.
All right.
Yeah, this gets around the main gate. I think we can sneak around
We
these
should be
guys.
careful.
too.
Yeah, we should be careful in this area though, because we might get aggro.
Can't you
Yeah,
sneak?
you know this. I feel like we can probably pull a little bit extra and see just how much we can tax this healer. What do you guys think?
All right, I'll pull these 3 up here and maybe that 4th one.
All right. There
Let's
you go.
do
Give you a
it.
little bit of potential heals.
Oh God, there's a wolf.
Wolf on me.
Okay, we'll
Oh,
find
morph
you.
through the gate. Oh, this is gonna be
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna stun the
On
wolf.
two of them.
Nice,
drop
nice.
the
All
wolf
right, I'm
first.
taking some heals.
All right.
Wreck that wolf.
All right, I've
What
got.
are we doing next?
Okay.
Gonna get these.
We're,
I'll get aggro on
focus
these two
fire,
guys.
focus fire. Yeah. Try to AoE if you can.
Oh,
AoE it all down. Big AoE.
Get the chains of corruption, baby.
I'm doing a delayed heal.
Okay, that's good. Shift V.
Yes, maximum AoE power.
Shift V.
wizard time.
Are you doing the wave attack too? Yeah,
Yes.
Nice.
that one's so good. Oh, we got
There's a
it.
delayed heal.
Nice. Getting all the value out of it. Try to get out.
Some judgment.
Try to get out.
Okay.
Throwing a sleep out.
Nice, we got it. Easy.
That was super easy.
I think it could be easier.
Either
Could be
that or I'm just
optimized.
a literal god of a healer. Okay, probably isn't.
No, you're doing good.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
using the full kit
Thank you. Here, have a barrier.
for that compliment.
Okay. All right.
All right. So I think we just gotta go up through
Good job, team.
here. Yeah, great
Well
job.
done.
Great job.
Hey, they're a good team though.
One more.
We need to have a discussion with world design for this population. I mean, it's not challenging enough.
Yep,
Yeah.
double it.
You have 100 Minotaurs in here.
Double it. Respawn rate 10 seconds.
Here, I'll do another group here.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Here,
Make them hurt more.
Don't break.
if I can grab that
Oh,
guy.
you
Sorry. Sorry. My bad.
Did he just grab an elite?
I just trust. I trust now. No.
Did I trust now?
I have full faith in my healer.
I bought some additional mobs.
Okay.
Oh god. Oh my god.
We're getting a little cocky here.
No, we're good.
He flew too close to the sun.
2 seconds on sleep.
Dude, Steven is
Okay,
getting
we-
rocked.
All right, sleep coming out now.
All right. All right. I think. Nice, nice. Okay.
Goodbye, Steven. Goodbye.
Okay, helping myself.
Oh yeah, they're on you. Trying to get them off you.
Oh my god. I'm dying.
Yeah, you're fine.
Where are you?
You're fine.
Running a little bit.
I think they're off you.
Okay, I'm now.
Bucky's like, I think they're off you as he's getting pummeled by like
Oh, I'm
8.
using my cooldown. Let's take
I'm using the divine infusion.
Oh yes, perfect.
I think they're off you. Oh, one rain color on him.
Still on you.
He's got too
healing
many
myself.
heals.
My mana is definitely going down.
We got this. We're almost getting.
Okay, we're fine.
Come
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Let me put down these chains.
There you go. The chains. There you go. That's it. That's the one that you needed.
Again.
Leap again.
Diff 3.
Stay on the right.
You win.
Or the left ring color, I guess.
Okay, I'll stay on.
And get some mending so that you get mana.
I'm
One
gonna
of the
stun this
3
other rain collar.
We got it. We got it.
I'm backseating a video, a
completely
pre-recorded video. I'm backseating it.
All right, we made it. We did it. We did it.
There you go. Mend Bucky.
Killing
Mend
blow on
Bucky.
this guy.
Mend Bucky.
What are you running for?
Okay. Well, I was at 60 health, and they're still. Okay, we got it. We got it.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Whew.
You're good. Here, have this hot.
That was epic.
That was pretty epic.
We had some good pulls here.
That was pretty fun. That was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed that as a healer. That was a oh shit moment, and there were
Yeah.
many oh shit buttons for me to press.
We were talking about this mana not being balanced, but I think that was pretty good. Like, you ran out of mana just right at the end of that fight. Like, it's pretty good. Good first
That is
pass.
true. Not too bad. Now
Pro
we're gonna talk to
gamers in the
Splinter.
chat.
Pro gamers.
Gosh, dude.
See, and everybody says I am a crazy player. There's just not, Oh, okay. Clay on top of this tent here. Okay, we're good. This guy's kind of cool. What is he doing?
Oh, what?
Hello, friend.
Splint.
The
Splint.
human?
Talk to me. Nobody mentioned lock.
You need to unlock the chest.
Oh, okay. We need to go unlock a chest. He's not budging.
You take the key and unlock it.
All right. I've gotten the key.
Okay, nice. I think the chest
Okay.
is in the main building somewhere.
So yeah, let's go down here.
Do you want to?
Yeah, Steven needs mana, bro.
Should we just even rest a little bit? You're still pretty low on mana.
I would be down to rest.
Well, we should probably go this.
Okay, you're good.
Actually, I guess I think we'll probably
Before
run through here for a little bit
I kind of like that there's no fall damage.
inside the building here.
There probably will be, like, on game launch, but I like the
Oh,
fact that
that's
there's
right, we
no
don't even
fall
need to.
damage.
Let's see if we can just. Since we cleared this whole area, I wonder if we can.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone
Yeah,
in here.
I think we gotta go down this little area.
Oh,
down
it's
here?
nice and dark in
In
here.
the crypts.
Ooh.
Secret basement.
This place is sick.
Let me give us some light. Hold on. I gotta give us some light.
Very nice. Oh yeah, Trad's got some good.
Send that down.
Follow the light.
Here it
Oh,
is.
what's that? That's fancy. Dude, Steven has
Working together
0
with
mana.
Splint, the bandit leader.
Wait, hold
Ancient
on. I wonder what happens if I
Pyrian
put the
chest.
shield on you while you have your shield on.
I got
shield.
I got 15 seconds on that.
double shield.
Double shield.
That's what you got out of the
Hey,
chest.
that was cool. It let loose this massive explosion. What did that do?
I think we're working together with Splint to activate
To
this
find the
ancient
ninja
chest
turtles?
to.
Oh, okay.
I think we're awakening some old spirits.
That's never
Try to
good.
drive out the Minotaurs. I think that's the plan here.
Oh, this is
That
beautiful.
could go terribly wrong.
What's the next part of the quest? We have to light the signal fire, light the brazier.
Light the beacons!
Up
The beacons are lit!
We
to
lost you,
this area.
Gondor calls for aid!
Steven. Oh, there you are. Look to your left.
There.
Where?
Over here.
Oh. Hey, how do I get over there?
Oh, actually, yeah. There you go.
Just walk across the bridge.
I'm gonna go upstairs even more over here.
Oh, nice. This is beautiful. Environment did a great job with this.
Absolutely.
Zachary and
This place is awesome.
Yeah, it looks really great. It's cool to explore.
Did a great job. Beautiful. Oh, look at
There's the
this.
brazier.
Well, this was a cool little incursion into. Oh, look at this!
Oh,
Revenants.
We have lit the beacon, and the zombies have overtaken the.
I
Minotaurs. There's still
knew
Minotaur
it.
corpses.
God, dude, we missed the bloodshed.
I think we did all the work.
Ooh.
Yeah,
we
true.
did
To
do
be
all the
honest, these
work.
zombies shouldn't get any credit.
That's super cool. Very cool. Well, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this brief look at the update. Well, not brief.
We made it
but
worse.
Look at the update of the Cleric archetype and what you'll be expecting in Alpha 2. Obviously, your feedback is incredibly important to us. Please keep in mind, everything is a work in progress, and we use your feedback as part of our iteration process. So if you can give us your thoughts and what you enjoyed, what you thought could be done better, in the YouTube video or in Twitch or everywhere else, we will go through that and we will take a look. But we have enjoyed showing this. Bucky and Trad, thank you guys for joining me. Very cool, very fun. And I thought you guys did a great job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. GG.
All right, we'll see you guys back
GG.
on stream.
I'm going in. Ah!
No!
Whoa.
Wait, let me
Where'd he
jump
go?
to you. Let me jump to you. How do I... Come here. Come here. Wait. Here it is. Boom!
Oh, that was sick.
Great. Bye, guys.
I want that. I want to do that. That's so sick. Okay. Overall, that might have been the best way to display like a class. I like how they did that. How they displayed all the abilities and then they went out and actually showed them. Cleric looks good. I like, other than the feedback I gave, I like how the Cleric looks and how it feels. Definitely feels in the proper role. Maybe it needs more attacks, or maybe weapon attacks need to be embedded into that class a little bit more for people to get like a less healer, more like off tank or off heal type thing. But other than that, looks good to me. And then we'll just continue on with the developer update after this 50-minute video over here on Twitch. Let me see if we can pull us back in right around this time.
See you guys back on stream.
I'm going in. Ah!
No! Wait, let me jump to you.
So funny.
How do I... Come here. Wait. Here it is. Boom!
Oh, that's so good.
Bye, guys.
Out of control.
I love it.
Woohoo! Seems like y'all very much enjoyed that from looking at the chat
Yes.
screen. I am going to play it in the background whilst we chat.
I
and
did.
answer some questions
I
from,
do like the Cleric.
that we noticed and that we want to make sure that you guys get to get answered. And the first one here is, will AoE and action heals also heal raid and alliance members?
AoE action heals depending on the type. That's a broad description. But
Yeah.
depending on the type, if it's like a templated AoE, yes, it would heal any non-combatants essentially. Yes.
So my non-combatants, he means like the in the PvP, like, so anybody that's green is considered a non-combatant, because we noticed as he was fighting, he was able to dash to his quote-unquote non-combatant. Combatant meaning purple, which is like you've initiated a PvP battle. But I'm curious on if you can do this in like group PvP or not, because if it's a non-combatant only, then that limits some of these abilities being used for PvP purposes. So something to think about.
All right. And then the next question is, can you walk through all the ways that clerics can target and heal, like F keys and things like that? Because we noticed that you were clicking on targets and stuff like that. So like people just want to know what are the ways that I can heal as a cleric? A lot of people like hover
question.
past it
Good
and
question.
things like that.
Yeah, there's going to be a pretty expansive functionality when it comes to the different types of targeting methods. That's something that's still being kind of worked on and will be included kind of later in the iteration phases from the combat team. The idea is that we are expansive as possible in that type of control schema, and that we leave it to the player to decide option-wise which ones they want to use.
Perfect. I knew that was going to be it. People have also been asking about.
So basically we can choose whatever we want. It's going to be hover, action combat, tab target, selecting via the party things. Just they'd need to work on implementing those into the code.
Smart casting specifically, that was a very one that people are interested in, but yes, we'll give you options.
Yes.
Revive spell. If someone dies.
One other thing, by the way, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
On those additional options, we're also playing with a secondary targeting type where you can have a friendly target active as well as an enemy or main target active.
Ooh, that's good.
So if you have duality in skills, like some that are offensive and some that are defensive, we're going to be testing that, I think, as part of Alpha 2.
Okay.
Most likely as part of Alpha 2, where you get to use that defensive targeting mechanism.
Yeah, people wanted to be able to do target of target things. I mean, it's pretty common for MMOs. So I did already respond about that in the chat. I was like, we're going to add more features like that. Don't worry. Revive spell. Obviously, that's like a big thing everyone keeps bringing up. If someone dies, for instance, you accidentally nuked one of your companions.
I didn't accidentally nuke him.
He purposely did it.
That he would be prevented from dying and would get 25% of his health
but not
back.
Through the GM command. That overrides everything.
He didn't specify that, so it is what it is. No, we there are resurrection abilities. We didn't showcase them here because we haven't yet stood those up. They're relatively direct. We're not going to do anything too fancy there. We have the ideas of including certain types of like mass resurrections, individual resurrections that have recuperation for dead experience that gets accrued. That is going to be a part of the resurrection aspect of things. There is one ability here that prevents death, and that was that one that we showed where Bucky died because I nuked him. But yes, there are resurrection abilities.
Yes. And then can you move while casting every ability? Are there some you cannot move while casting? They saw you moving a lot while casting, and obviously that's something that's a big proponent for us.
That's good.
We want you to be able to move while casting.
Just not the channeled ones.
So a lot of abilities you have the capability of moving while casting. It's going to decrease your movement speed significantly, or depending on the type of ability. We do reserve the cost, and that's really what it is when you tie ability usage to mobility. We do reserve the cost of requiring the character to remain stationary on some ability, some big effect type abilities. So it's just spread out amongst the kits. Some are going to be mobile. Some are going to be completely mobile where there's no restriction and no slowdown. Some are going to be completely restrictive where you can't move.
This is something I requested in A1 for a lot of the stuff, and they changed it towards the end of A1 because this was not just my request. This was obviously a lot of the community's request, and they've been fulfilling on it, and it's been fantastic that they've been doing that. And I think it's going to make gameplay more modernized by doing so. It's a balancing act between what cost versus benefit we want to have conferred through the effect of the ability.
Yeah, if they're rooting you for a spell, that spell's going to do something good.
Do something.
Yeah. How are skills acquired during leveling? Can you walk through like how that functionality will work?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of games in the past a lot of games in the past that we've played have this kind of skill point allocation system that you acquire through experience gain, and you take those skill points and you spec them into your skill tree. We're going to follow a relatively similar path when it comes to skill progression. However, that's likely not going to be tied directly to experience gain because we do have this concept of experience debt that does accrue, and we don't want to create an imbalance between skill points acquired versus experience. So we're going to predicate your skill acquisition, the skill points acquisition, based on benchmarks you reach when leveling through a level, right? So these are going to be at specific points in the level, like 1/4 progress to half progress to 3/4 progress. You're going to get an influx of skill points, and then you'll be able to allocate them into your skill tree.
That's pretty innovative. I don't think that's really ever been done, but I do like that. So once you hit like, say, level 31 and 3/4, you get some extra skill points. But if you die, or if somebody kills you, or you go corrupt or whatever, you gain this like XP debt. But you're still at level 31 and 3/4. You're still like 31.75 out of 32. But you have to gain that much XP to get out of that debt to be basically where you were at.
All right. And then can I change the theme of my cleric? Like if I want it to be more dark spells or nature themed, is that an option?
So that's really
Not at the moment.
where, the secondary class option, which creates your class, right? The primary archetype, not so much. That's relatively going to be more based around the player's decisions in which skills they spec into in the skill tree, not being able to change the skills themselves.
Yep.
But when you reach the class phase, which is around level 25, and you introduce that secondary archetype selection to create your one of 64 classes, then you'll have a number of augments that you'll be able to apply on a per ability basis. And your core ability kit comes from your primary archetype selection. And those augments will change the look and feel of those abilities. And some will have the effect to create more darker thematic aspects to it, or just generally different aesthetics to the abilities that represent the secondary class selection.
Honestly, I didn't even think that was going to be the answer. The fact that that's the answer is actually a positive for me, because my understanding was like, oh, you're a cleric primary, your clerics are going to look very clear, like just light based, like all of these spells. But with the augments, that makes sense and gets me super hyped to see them. I believe he stated before that we're not going to be able to see them in A2. It's going to be beyond A2. It's going to be like beta 1, or like if it is in A2, it's towards the end of it. When we'll start seeing the augments and implementing those into our gameplay.
Archetype selection.
Archetype, sorry, yes, secondary archetype selection. Thank you.
Your class.
Yes, I know.
That's a cool looking backpack, by the way.
Does the cleric resource make offensive spells instant cast? And yes, they do. But I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's any cast effect that you have. And that's, one of the concerns about that particular energy mechanic that I had, and that I expressed to the team, is like how we balance whether or not that gets applied to pretty much any ability, because it is a bit of a subversion in the balancing act. You want to kind of have minimum thresholds that players must meet in order to confer an effect on a target. And so there's some concern there, but that's something we're going to play test and balance out throughout Alpha 2. But
we were having a lot of fun. We did some PvP fun earlier in the week, and Steven and Bucky and Trad were battling me, Adam, and Nat, and it was super fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And later with Keenan. It is cool.
It wasn't fair, because you guys were CCing me, and we haven't yet introduced CC breaks into the kits, and I was just like, wait a minute.
True. So what we did, giving Strat, right? Like our mage slept Steven, and then I stunned Trad, and then we just blew Trad up. And I saved up my healing instant spell for my judgment, so I could just do like this massive nuke. It was pretty awesome plays. But yeah, if you
man, they are
yeah. I mean, I would call
they're 5-head,
but
they're 5-head. Good job, Margaret.
Break abilities. We didn't yet have them.
Good job, Margaret.
Being able to break.
You're too good.
Awesome too.
You're just better. It's a skill issue.
No, there is some strategy. There's fun, and even with the ability kits that we currently have, we're having a lot of fun with it. Then the next question, I think the last one we have here, and we can move forward on to the next stuff. It's been a long stream already. Is how much of the cleric kit will be damage focused rather than healing? Because I saw you mostly casting healing spells whilst.
Granted, there was a lot of mobs.
There are absolutely going to be, and we talked a little bit about this. There's going to be a significant amount of offensive capability for the cleric, because we don't want to create that dynamic where cleric as a support class is inoperable without a companion or a party to go with, right? We want that cleric to still be able to survive on their own, to be able to level and progress as a solo player. And so because of that, there's going to be healthy combinations of offensive abilities. But when we talk about the current, current archetype development, we focus right now on this phase around core role, right? So we're talking about what is the core role for this particular archetype within the Trinity system, and that really focuses around support-oriented gameplay. So you saw some offensive abilities, some support abilities have dual purpose, dual functionality, depending on the target recipient. That could be offensive or defensive. You might see that you might see that expressed more as we develop out the archetype further. But the idea is to create a healer archetype that is not entirely dependent on companion or party, which means they'll have offensive capabilities.
Nice.
Yeah, and like I said, we were able to do some big damage. Like you can still do decent damage as a cleric. You just have to know which skills to use and utilize them in coordination with other folks. And also there's synergy, right? Like I can put a buff, like a debuff on the mob that then the mage can also exploit, which is really handy. So there's a lot of like things
Absolutely.
like that are really handy.
Yeah. And not only that, but remember that a big component, which is probably one of the more significant distinguishments between Ashes of Creation's combat systems and what we were experiencing in other MMOs, is that the weapon gameplay is a big component of synergy between your rotational archetype abilities and the weapon combo attacks. So you'll often find that a lot of your offensive power from perhaps the more support-oriented class roles is going to be found with interactions with their weapon combo as well.
All right. Cool. And that's it for the questions that we saw in the chat that, like, I feel like we, community side, we can answer all the other ones. But, so keep sending us our thoughts. Wagner and Roshan are great about responding to folks. And Peter over on social, we do our best. We're a small but mighty team, but we interact with as many people as possible.
You guys do a great job.
Head on over, give us some feedback on the cleric. We would love to know your thoughts. I don't know, Stephen, if you want to add any additional. I know you talked about it in the other bit there, like what you're looking for feedback.
Absolutely. Just real quick, this video will be uploaded on YouTube within the next hour or two tops, I would say, in its full 4K glory. And when you guys are thinking about the types of feedback that you can provide us, tempo of gameplay, the distribution and types of effects conferred from the abilities, in addition to the mechanics of the combat and the encounter itself, and the synergies with other classes. Obviously, you don't need.
Here, let me answer that for you.
And Peter over on social,
let me answer this.
We're a small but mighty team, but we interact with as many people as possible. There is a thread over on the forums. Head on over, give us some feedback on the cleric. We would love to know your thoughts. I don't know, Stephen, if you want to add any additional. I know you talked about it in the other.
Yeah.
Oh, that shift 3 is like a 20-second cooldown, but I'd be using that off cooldown because that was such a good ability.
Just bit there, like what you're looking for feedback.
Absolutely. Just real quick, this video will be uploaded on YouTube within the next hour or two tops, I would say, in its full 4K glory. And when you guys are thinking about the types of feedback that you can provide us, tempo of gameplay.
All right, tempo. It's either too. I think it's too slow, meaning mobs have either too much health or aren't doing enough damage, or both. And you could argue that they have the right amount of health, but players are not doing enough damage. But this is all balancing and stuff like that. I liked the big mobs that they were grabbing, and it was like really fun. But after 30 seconds, or actually less than that, it's probably like 10-second fights is probably what I'm looking for. Enough to react, enough to use the right abilities, enough to channel for what you need, but 10 seconds should be like I'm killing the first mob or the second mob, or like that AoE is doing a ton of damage and my cleric has just healed my tank who's aggroed all those mobs. Tanks need to be able to aggro mobs quicker, just so that fights can get a move on, so that they have like a bigger taunt AoE, so that they can pull those bigger mobs. And then mage should probably be doing more damage. Cleric should probably be able to keep up with heals with monster damage. So I like the size of the mobs that you guys were grabbing. I like the ability that you guys could handle it, but it feels too slow in damage numbers. And I get that it, like the old school MMO feel is a long time to kill, like 15-30 seconds. But I think the way that games are moving now, it's a faster pace, and you'll lose a lot of audience by not being able to kill things or do big damage, or make them at least feel like they're getting stronger as they're progressing. Like when I'm level 1, maybe when I go up against a mob, like I don't think I'm going to be doing a ton of damage to it. Where we see games today, like level 1 through 10, you're just blowing by, and then like monsters get exponentially harder to beat as you go through the game. Understandably, because one, you're trying to figure out the mechanics of the game. Monsters shouldn't be too difficult to early levels. Sure, maybe monsters don't do a ton of damage early. Maybe you don't do a ton of damage early. You're learning the mechanics. Maybe instead of just killing them instantly, at lower levels and at lower damage points, you take longer to kill things. But as you grow, you start feeling stronger against these things, and these things start feeling more dangerous. Therefore, you do more damage, but they also do more damage. You do more healing, but they do more damage. Or they aggro harder, or they have better AI, which targets the healers over the tanks, and the tanks have to manage those aggros. And I think that's kind of how you scale levels, monsters, abilities with players, because I think game developers now, they underestimate gamers. They underestimate players in general, where things being difficult is actually quite fun. And it's only when like aggro ranges, and like one shots and buggy things, those ruin gameplay experience. It's not difficulty, it's problems in the game that are annoying or just straight up bad. I don't really know how else to explain like laggy gameplay that ends up killing your character. Like that's just bad development. So far it seems like most of your stuff is working even in this alpha stage, so I don't think there's a real big issue there, but just making sure that that quality stays up to date as we play through it. I think that's kind of the direction that we want to go. And by we, I mean you guys at Intrepid Studios, but that's my personal feedback. I just think that it's a little bit too slow. And maybe this is because you need a bigger party, but maybe their HP increases with the proximity of X amount of players in the vicinity. Who knows? I don't know how you really do that. That's just my personal desire as a player, is that mobs don't take forever to kill, because I want to keep moving. I want to keep exploring your world. I want to keep growing, and I want to grind. And maybe we have to spend a lot of time on the balancing of XP versus difficulty, or how difficult do we make these encounters with different party groups and stuff like that. Maybe that's just way too much math and there's not enough time to do that. I don't know, but I would love to test it in A2 whenever you guys get a chance. But yeah, no rush. I just want to play a really good game, and I think that's the best way to do it.
The distribution and types of effects conferred from the abilities, in addition to the mechanics of the combat and the encounter itself, and the synergies with other classes.
I like all that. It looks great. Feels great. Another thing on the abilities portion is that, good point. Maybe you only have these abilities, but you have like 50 more on the background, but you only have so many that you can slot in your action bar so that you can choose the type of playstyle that you want to do, but you don't have like one for everything. And maybe you want to like skill certain abilities higher, so that, say you want to be a more offensive cleric than a healing cleric, and then you have all these different augments with your classes. Maybe that's a different route that you can go. So instead of having more buttons, you have a lot of abilities with select spots that you can put in that do have some diversity, like your chain lightning and your judgment and your I forget what the shift 2 is. The one that like gives the temp heal over time, or the temp shield, the heal over time, and the initial heal. If you have like those types of diversifying spells and you have to like choose which slots you go into, I think that's a good idea. Even if you do have 50 abilities, I would rather have smaller slot space so that I can choose what type of playstyle I want to do.
Obviously, you don't need to give me feedback on my gameplay. I know that it really couldn't have been better than it was, and that
You're a god, Steven. You're absolute Chad.
was probably the best Cleric gameplay you've ever seen.
Do you want to give them some preface too? Steven just had eye surgery. Like, he can't even see them. Give the man a break.
No.
He's the best. He's the best player in the world.
I think when it mattered and we got into the oh shit moments, I pulled off that just fine.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And, you know,
hey, you did your job.
Abilities, because I forget what the icons are associated with the class. So, anyways, you don't need.
I was backseating you a little bit, but you did your job. You guys passed.
To comment on my glorious gameplay. I already know you all love it. That's fine. Keep that out of the commentary.
That's why I was trying to give them, like, I was trying to tell them there is strategy to abilities, you know. You just gotta use them in a certain way.
I love it.
Yeah, he doesn't need feedback on his gameplay. Just we want to know about the combat and the abilities and what your guys'
you give
thoughts are on them.
any feedback you want. It's all good. We have a great community team that always runs through.
Steven's got a good head on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
We make sure it's the reports that we're putting forward to our team are really useful.
Leave it in the comments.
They love your guys' feedback and your suggestions, so please send them our way. They're a lot of fun to read through as well. And with that, we're
just one other real quick point, just last point is I want to make a point of that. You know, we have not gone through our optimization pass. And just to be clear, when you look at things like frame rate, or you see you know, dips in that frame rate, or you see you know, anything that has to do with kind of performance,
it was still pretty good.
Efforts, that pass hasn't come yet. So we're doing something.
That's crazy that it hasn't come yet, because there was like maybe 1 or 2 stutters that I noticed. There wasn't a ton. That's pretty stable. That's really fucking good. So hats off to you if you haven't even done the optimization path yet.
A bit unique in the sense that we're showing active development at the time that things are being developed. And because of that, you're not going to see the parts that have yet to be worked on, which is polish pass, optimization pass, you know, all of those.
Like, I'm looking at the video now. You can easily see and react to each one of these creatures literally at any point in time and be able to react. There was like one point when they started the aggro where it stuttered, and that was the only time I noticed.
Come at the end of the development cycle, because things may change more heavily during development than they might when it's ready for a polish phase, right? And so we try to get everything kind of nailed down and all the iteration stuff done as much as we can possibly during that development phase before we go in and actually polish it. Now, because we're a transparent development process, obviously the things that we want to show, we do dial up a little bit further than normal, perhaps across the rest of our systems and core pillars and designs in the world. And that's acceptable. Fair. There's a little bit of risk there when it comes to like the loss of work potential. If things do need to change, animations might change, because you have to think about it from a pipeline perspective. If animations change, VFX has to adapt, audio effects has to adapt, right? Yep. Those things, the timing has to kind of get changed, especially when it comes to ability production. So just keep that in mind as you're giving this feedback.
Yeah, all the teams that have to work after the pipeline of something being like that, or like the support, like sound effects, VFX, like it's a lot. But our teams are awesome. They're badasses, as you can see. We have a very small character art update, so I will just be showing off a couple things here, and so you can see the tarnished Sky Raiders set here.
Maidenless?
Beautiful. And I do have a turntable for this as well. I'll play that.
Oh.
It looks nice. I would never wear it, but it looks nice.
This one was Danny.
Danny,
I always have that prepared now.
Yeah, I love the chain links there, if I can see that quite well. And the golds and the trim around the cloth.
This definitely looks elven. Of elven make.
And then we've got the ambitious academic set.
Ooh, that looks so sick.
Which we know everyone always is asking about the VEC. So getting a little
Ooh.
look.
That's so
at
good.
This one.
Don't look at the Vec and think
It looks
that they're
scary.
devious or that
No, there's Star.
they're up to no
He's-
good. This is just how they are as a society, right? They're inspective. They're looking at you and they're just sizing you up, right? And they're determining what they should think of you. They're very suspicious culture. The division
Don't be suspicious.
between,
Don't be
the
suspicious.
Renkai and the Vec was not a very happy and peaceful one.
Mm.
So something to keep in mind.
It'll be interesting to see.
Ooh,
Now
I
you're
want
gonna
to see
have
the lore.
Vec and Renkai people battling it out, RPing. Steven, look,
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
It's the past.
Yeah, it's the best. But yeah, the lore is pretty exciting stuff.
I like it.
I know people will love hearing a little tidbit about that. And we've gotten a lot of feedback. And
The female kind of reminds me of Tonks in Harry Potter. You know, does that make sense? She's got like that like. I don't know what it is about her, but Tonks is a lot more happy, but like when she's like mad, like in like battle mode, that's what it looks like to me.
To some people not liking the hunched stance, but honestly, it's kind of and there's some people who like it. So it's like
you got to think. You got to think when you start playing with poses, right?
Yeah.
Why do you do that? From a art perspective, when you want to give players a distance preview threat assessment of the opponents they might be facing, especially in a PvP game, silhouettes matter, and the shape language of that silhouette is a little bit difficult sometimes to distinguish between races that share similar head height. And so one of the ways you can break that shape language or silhouette up
Posture
is by incorporating different stances and different animations that can confer the threat assessment or the idea of what that race is at a distance amongst races of similar head height.
I like that.
And so I think this plays well to the Vec, to their creature model, and it gives them a bit of character, right?
Yeah,
To the way that
I think that all of our races have a lot of characteristics to them, and hopefully people enjoy that.
I wonder what the difference
So far,
between
it seems
Kalar
like
and
people
Veilun
do.
is.
There's little bits of feedback here and there from folks. And with that,
Yeah,
we're going to
can't
head
please
on
everybody. It's
over
okay.
to Q&A, and I'll play the video a little bit more as well, so you guys have something to look at whilst we are...
Hold on, I've been putting this off. I need to go switch out clothes in the laundry. I'll be right back.
chatting here and answering some wonderful questions from the forums.
Woohoo!
Oh, actually, do you want to do studio update first? Do you have like a few things that you want to talk about on that front?
So we're having a plethora of wonderful candidates that are joining. We did finish our our milestone last at the beginning of this month, where we had a lot of internal play testing.
Nice.
All of that play testing was phenomenal to see within the studio. And as you can see, combat is making a significant strides forward across these different archetypes, which we'll be getting additional play testing around, and you guys will see more updates to in the future. Nodes was previously planned as the showcase.
Send nodes.
But those of you who have been following along on Discord and socials and forums, you'll know that got pushed to next month.
He told us that in the D
presentation, so that we're able to cover all the topics we want to cover. Otherwise things are going great.
That's awesome to hear.
Which is totally fine that they pushed it back a month, because this was awesome.
Move on to the Q&A. I was just trying to make sure you guys got your bingo card. Cheating, I know. All right, moving on.
The bingo card.
Our Q&A here. I will get you something to watch while we do it. So the first one here is from Norcor, who wants to know about data mining. Will some kind of technology be utilized to delay data mining? Example, holding assets / data on the servers instead of clients and only streaming it to the clients on demand.
Yeah. Within our architectures, there are some plans for us to kind of mitigate as much as possible the data mining to a degree, but ultimately there's just going to be some amount of information that's not possible to be kept from data mining. However, we do have
understandable
plans in place to help mitigate that.
Also, for people who don't know about the bingo card, you need to join our Discord if you haven't joined it yet. They have lots of great conversations.
Hey, here, hold on. I'll pull up the disc. I'll pull out the bingo card real quick. Hold on. There it is. That's the bingo card. if we can see it. Yeah, it's almost perfect. We've got almost everything on the bingo card, so we're moving.
Sometimes, but that's MMO
Do
community.
you win anything for the bingo card?
No, it's just fun, They try to predict what's going to be in the stream,
I
and
like
if they
it.
get like
I
a
like
bingo, it's
They should keep tabs of each month of the winners of the bingo or something.
Yeah, like a whole list. I told them when I'm 80, I still want them to be doing the bingo card because
Oh, for sure.
Nice.
I want to be like 80 on like the 30,
Virtual
100th
bingo?
Ashes of Creation virtual game where we're like locked in. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't worry. By that time we're launched, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, we're launched, and we're also making like a whole nother game. And now it's like you are in a suit and in the world. No. Ace1234 wants to know about NPC interactions. Can you influence NPCs or mobs when interacting with them by using your knowledge of their unique personalities / routines, lore, or general knowledge of
Probably
the world
not.
state?
No.
We haven't planned for any type of like branching dialogue personalities that give insight to those types of things. And I don't believe that's planned for our narrative design. No. There is, however, some potential faction-based reputations that can be had, and those reputations might send the NPCs down different behavior trees. And that is something that is incorporated. But if I understand the question correctly, it's more along the lines of like catering specific dialogue.
Well, that's good. They're not increasing the scope.
That will send down different dialogue branches.
Yeah, no, I think Steven nailed this question.
Okay. And then
That's good, though.
Roni Scipone, I always love your name, wants to know about weapons. Will there be any weapons that heal or buff allies rather than dealing damage?
Well, we saw the wand doing the lifesteal.
One of the weapons that was as part of the cleric's development process here for this latest iteration on the archetype was a weapon that had an alternate heal functionality to it. So,
but it didn't heal allies. It just healed yourself.
I will leave that until that gets further developed, and I can give you more definitive answers along those paths. But it is something that the design team has been looking at. Yes.
Cool. And then Rocket Farmer wants to know about cleric lore. What can you share about the organizations and lore that surrounds and supports the cleric archetype?
One of the probably biggest delineations from your standard trope in MMORPGs is that the cleric does not receive their powers from a divine source, at least not in the sense that it's standard. It is still something that is tied intrinsically to the use and manipulation of the essence as a source of magic. Now, the source of that essence is up to question. There are some claims about it that might apply divine interaction, but generally it's not as though you're being imbued by these powers from the gods and that the gods can take them away should you step out of line in your alignment.
Nice.
That's the more tropey D&D type esque approach,
like paladin oath vibes.
Correct.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's an element I think of the cleric that's probably been misunderstood or hasn't been expressed.
And there will be more
I like
that you will explore throughout the world. We don't want to give you it all,
Yes, very true.
Our next one here is from Castai, who wants to know about armor pieces. How often will armor be part of an entire armor set with other cosmetically matching pieces versus unique armor pieces that don't match or go along with anything else in the game? So, for instance, there's a lot of games where you go collect all the pieces and now they match. Will there be,
exactly.
A balance of both?
There is a balance of both set pieces and non-set pieces. And usually you're going to see at higher grades within a tier are going to be more predominantly set driven, and the lower interstitial power levels of the gear for that tier are the potentially bespoke pieces.
So best gear is set gear.
And, obviously those pieces are catered around a number of different interactions, such as ones you get from quests, ones that you get from drops, ones that you can craft, ones that you get from legendary bosses, ones that you get from guild-oriented tasks or in-game favor and unique currencies. So there's different types of acquisition models, and each of them has a spattering of either bespoke pieces or set-oriented pieces. And there are even varying levels of set pieces as well.
All right, I'm kind of
You might
ignorant
have a
here. Hold
full,
on.
8-piece set or a 3-piece set.
What does bespoke mean? Made for our particular customer or user. Okay.
Or a 5-piece set, depending on where it lives within the tier.
All right. And then Bernie7 and Dev Mage, we had two people who were kind of asking this question. It's about cleric gameplay. How are you trying to balance the cleric in regards to group play versus solo content while still keeping the archetype fun?
Yeah, so we touched a little bit on this earlier, which is that we don't want to create an archetype that's GIMP when it comes to soloing, which means that it needs to have a well-rounded kit that's capable of sufficing from a solo gameplay perspective, but also is fun, dynamic, and fulfills its role within a party setting. And so what that means is really it's left to the agency of the player to kind of spec into the skill trees that is most relevant to their type of gameplay. So if you want to go harder into the more support-oriented, group-focused skills, you're going to allocate skill points into that aspect of the tree. If you're tending to be more of a solo-esque player, not necessarily fulfilling your role within a party setting, you can focus in more on the ability kit that gives you access to those single target DPSs and solo gameplay
Like Smite.
skills. So
Yeah, especially as you're moving into your secondary archetypes within those.
Well, and the secondary archetype really just opens the lid on the types of customization options at the.
And honestly, if it's me asking, like, please, Steven, can we please have secondary archetypes a little bit sooner in the game than level 25? I mean, I know that might be too much to ask, and I won't know until we test it, but I feel like level 15, you want to get your secondary archetype as soon as possible. Because you want to play your class. You don't want to play your archetype, you want to play your class. And I think level 15 would make people grind early to get to that class, and then once they get their class, they can play how they want to play. But I think making them grind halfway through does not make somebody want to keep playing. It seems like a chore more than it does like you're having fun with the game. But of course, this all needs to be tested, and we need to figure that out, and we need to figure out the balance between all that and everything. So I understand that's a big undertaking, but yeah, I think level 15, level 10 at an extreme measure is level 10, but I think level 15 is probably a little bit better. But if we get 20, I'm happy. 25 just seems too much.
The player has access to, further allowing them to spec towards either solo gameplay or group-oriented gameplay, now incorporating aspects and elements of the other archetypes as part of that design. But we haven't gotten into that yet because Alpha 2 really is focused around the base archetypes and how they fulfill their roles, or their, what we expect players want to have from a class fantasy perspective. And then once we've kind of mastered that element, we take that into the augment section and we start allocating effects that resemble the schools of those base archetypes across the class structure.
It's going to be exciting.
Okay.
That's going to be when the fun really, really starts. And Dilliam wants to know about freehold sieges. Following a successful siege of a node, will there be any players that are not allowed to attack/defend freeholds of that node, such as players who didn't participate in the siege? And kind of to give you context here, Stephen, there has been discussion in regards to like freeloaders, basically people who aren't part of the siege but now can go in and like steal things from the freeholds. People don't feel like that's necessarily fair.
We've talked a little bit about in the past, and this is something that gets iterated on, but I will give you guys insight to the thought process that will help inform the decisions we choose when we go through iteration and testing.
Okay.
So essentially, I've thought about this in the past as well, and I agree with you that it's not necessarily fair or desirable, I guess. to have certain players who would refuse to participate in an event and instead wait to see the outcome and then choose the side which they want to participate, especially when you think about node sieges, creating an aftermath of an open world battlegrounds, essentially in the ruins, where there are a number of resources and or loot and spoils that can be acquired or salvaged depending on if you're the attacker or defending side. One of the ideas we've thought about is it's potentially possible that for that event, either castle siege or node sieges, you would have a ladder of participation KPI, right? Like, participation stats. And in those participation stats, you would say that the top 100 or the top 200 players have access to the open world battlegrounds in order to recover the spoils, the loot, or recovery. That's a potential thing that we can incorporate as well if we feel that the objective of the system, which is player participation, the outcome and reward phases and the gameplay loops that are incorporated with that, are not necessarily being done in a manner that is intended, right?
Well, how about you just if you participated in the event, you get a bonus to rewards. And if you did not, you get less rewards. Seems simple. You don't have to create a ladder or anything. You just did participate, true or false, get times X rewards.
In addition,
and it has to be in the open battlegrounds in the aftermath, because you are still actively participating in the battlegrounds afterwards, right? So you are still participating, even if it is after the fact.
To that, you could be less selective in the latter and more geared towards just those who were online and or participating within the event on the attacker or defender side and made a choice there too. So there's a lot of different dials and levers that we can kind of play with to
yeah, and you would have to choose the side prior to the fight, because if you did not participate in it and you did not choose a side, then you get 0 rewards. You're just in the battlegrounds. That's all you're doing. That's my standpoint.
To adjust the system so that we're getting the outcome we want, which is essentially player participation. And that includes both incentives as well as detriments.
And so to kind of recap that, that's something that you guys are going to play with and test and see what the final decision will be. So if you have thoughts on this, as we put these things into place and we request feedback, definitely send us your feedback on that front. The next one here is from Thumbs, and they want to know about freehold taxes. What will happen if a freehold owner doesn't log in for a while, but has the money in their account to pay for the debt and taxes associated with their freehold?
It should be automatically
withdrawn to pay debts, or will they foreclose their place?
Yeah, we've talked about this also in the past on the design side of whether or not we want to allow people to kind of either prepay taxes or if we want to allow them to deduct the tax payment from
opt-in automatic withdrawals.
A warehouse facility or storage facility or off the character itself. We have a few different thoughts on this. We're going to be playing with this a little bit in Alpha 2 as well. I will say that the desire of the system is not that people would lose or default on the taxes owed due to just kind of missing the payment time if they're gone for a week or something. So there will be a mechanism either by which they can prepay or by which the system will deduct from a location designated by the player, either inventory or warehouse.
Okay. And then Davey Wavy wants to know about family systems. Are you open to the idea of removing the family system if Alpha 2 feedback suggests it? Or is it something that is in the game for good regardless of feedback?
Okay, so let me answer this more broadly.
Okay.
There are elements of the game design that are core to the game itself. Those core designs will never change. Aspects of the core functionality that's intended may be tweaked and changed. The family system is not a core pillar of Ashes. And so, like many systems in Ashes, the purpose of these alphas and testing periods and us even having these monthly demonstrations where we're showcasing current directionality and development is so that when players give feedback, We parse through that. We identify how it might conflict with our core pillars and philosophies to iterate and make changes based on the player feedback, and what systems it might ripple effect through before making iterative changes, right? And so to ask a question such as, will you be open to feedback on a particular system should the community give it? The answer is always going to be yes. So we don't have to ask that question. The question that should be asked is, if feedback from the community is contrary to the game's philosophy and core pillars, will you change the identity of the game to match what
No.
a either loud minority or majority of players are looking for? And that is where Ashes of Creation will never yield its intent to develop a game that answers the call of what our core philosophies and systems are attempting to.
Steven, I love you. Okay? I love you. And just to kind of explain what he's saying in non-PR talk, if the community doesn't like something about something that is not a core pillar of the game, such as the family system, they will listen to the community and they will try to fix it, or at least change the aspects of it so that it does fit within the realms of the player's expectations. What I really heard was, yeah, if the family system breaks shit, they're going to get rid of it. If it's too exploitive, if it doesn't give risk versus reward, they're going to get rid of it, or they're going to change it to some measure. And that's not just the family system, that's for any non-core principle of Ashes of Creation. However, the PVX, the PvP, the node system, the open world conflict, any group finders, anything like that, not getting changed. The group finder is never going to happen. There's not going to be no raid. There's not going to be a raid finder. There's not going to be a dungeon finder. There's not going to be a party maker. It is meant to be an open world game, and you're supposed to live in it. And that's kind of what Steven's saying.
Accomplish. And there are lots of different games out there for different people, and that's acceptable. So I don't want us to use the excuse of, well, I've provided this feedback about, a PVX game. I don't think PvE and PvP can live together in a game. Therefore, they should change that aspect of the game. That'll never be a thing that changes.
Thank God.
We're a PVX game. We
are
will
a
have
PVX
PvP.
game. Correct. We are a PVX game, and I just want to make sure I'm delineating between the two, because this often comes up, and I often see
it comes up
say,
a lot, especially when we showcase PvP of any sort. It comes up.
Correct. And so we need to make sure, look, we're doing our due diligence as a company who provides a service to consumers to tell them upfront what we're making, and to show them along the way what's being made,
I love
how
Intrepid.
it's being made, the progress towards that making, right? Those are things that we should all, as consumers, expect of any company that's out there in the market trying to make a consumer-driven product. And so because of that, we're doing our part there. Your part needs to understand, as a viewer, as a consumer also, that some things just might not be for me, and that's okay. And there are other products out there that offer the things that I want, and I will go there. That.
If you don't like our game, fuck you. Maybe not that aggressive, but I said it.
That is an acceptable thing to think about. But regardless,
and maybe someday down the line, we'll create a product for those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we got to do this one first. Let us do one.
Let us cook. They got to cook.
Industry is a huge industry, and there's a lot of cool opportunities to tell a story in a very different way, right? And Ashes of Creation is intending to be a very rich IP and a very rich story that has the potential to be told across many different mediums and media. And right now, our flagship product is this MMORPG, and we believe that we've identified a particular space within the consumer market that wants this type of IP and this type of product that we're developing, and we're going to stick to our guns when we create it.
Our guns. All right. And our final question here is from Diggs, and they wanted...
We got it. We got it on the bingo. Oh, fuck. That was the wrong one. Someone makes a pun/bad joke. Thanks, Margaret.
Know about purchasing freeholds. When it comes to buying a freehold, it was said a player would need to be level 50. Is that adventurer level 50 or artisan level 50?
That's that. That is adventurer level 50. And I talked a little bit about this in the interview / conversation that I had on Tangents of Creation.
Yep.
And, with it, I'll talk a little bit about it here. Within the design team, we obviously had a very lively discussion about whether or not there should be a adventuring level limit on a system like the Freehold, right? And again, when you compare the minute detail or the iterative detail that is what level gets accessed versus the overarching game philosophy or core tenet that we're trying to provide, which is the idea of exclusivity, of risk versus reward, of unique accomplishments, and not everybody gets a trophy. We can accomplish this system still and make an iterative change to the level requirement on the Freehold. Like that's a great example of the last point of discussion we were just having. So ultimately, when we talk about that adventuring level design, when we get into testing and we take into account the feedback and we get to see that system play with the design intent, then we'll make iterative changes based off of those feedbacks. And it could include something like changing the adventuring level requirement down to level 30 or non-existent at all. It just comes down to how it goes from paper and thought into actual gameplay, hands-on, live audience, and getting real feedback and real.
That's so good to know. By the way, my ADHD brain was looking at the map over here, and I noticed that the party members were not on the map. So I wonder if that's going to be something that changes in the UI or not in the near future.
Real time, like those.
But yeah, this is all a good point. Like the freeholds and the artisanship things could change depending on how players play, and that's totally fine. And I like it. And I personally, I have such a big thought on this freehold thing. We don't want an Arcade land rush. We want it to be like if it's like a level 3 node and you have to be level 30, totally acceptable. But if it has to be like a level 5 node and adventure level 50, also acceptable. I think as long as the freehold scales with the game and you're not doing these land rushes, it's infinitely better. It's so much better because it stops bots, stops account like multi-boxers from just getting a bunch of land and trying to sell the land or just hogging it all up. And also people don't just stop and enjoy the game. I think people should just be able to play the game. And if you have to like rush to max level, which a lot of people will, me included, and you can't get a freehold because you didn't spend enough time leveling your node, which I also think is another thing where I don't think you're going to hit level 50 without leveling your node because you have to get better XP elsewhere, unless you're just a hardcore grinder or exploiting some sort of XP thing. But yeah, I don't see it being a thing. I think people are maybe analyzing it too deeply or not thinking about how Ashes is laid out as a game. But I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be fine.
Those are two different things when it comes to game design. You can have the best idea on paper that falls completely on its face in implementation.
Also, this was something that Asmongold was saying. It was like that we just need to get our hands on the game and stuff like that. And Steven reiterating this because I know he watches Asmon's content, especially when it comes to Ashes of Creation. It's massive that he is like at least addressing this.
Versus in playtesting, right? So there's a spectrum there, and we're doing our part in making sure that from paper to implementation, these systems are accomplishing what we want them to. Next step is testing.
All right. And that is it for our development update.
Yeah. That was a long one.
We will have another one in August, so stay tuned for our August development update. Steven, any final things that you want to
send notes?
Leave people with before I go into the outro?
Let me think. Is there any? Was there any soapboxes I wanted to get on today? I don't think so.
Come on, let's do it,
No.
Steven. Send it.
'Cause
Full send.
I have thoughts.
Oh my god, did you see the aliens? I'm telling you, that was crazy. If you guys haven't seen the aliens thing, go look at the aliens. John and I have been having interesting conversations about the aliens.
My friend runs the Illuminati podcast, and oh my god.
They run the Illuminati? Margaret's friend runs the Illuminati. All right, Margaret, hook me up with the Illuminati, okay? I could get really popular really quick, and the Illuminati would be so cool to be in. Anyways,
I'm like, are you loving this? He's like, yes.
I'll tell you the biggest concern and threat I have to Ashes is that aliens come down and they bring their advanced like virtual reality technology with them, and now everything we've been working on for that last number of years is invalidated because we have the alien tech, which is just literally an MMO
now you just gotta
that you're seamless in and don't know.
Now you just gotta play
That could be
Ashes
what we're in now. But regardless, like
simulation.
AI.
We're in a simulation.
That's what Steven's saying.
oh, it's so great.
Yeah, the true
I
Illuminati podcast is what I was talking about.
I have no other points. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation today. It is going to be up on YouTube. Go take a look at it over there. The streaming quality that Twitch provides us doesn't do the world justice, but you get to see it on YouTube. No, we had a fun time. Team's doing a great job, and hope you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. And of course, just as reminders, don't forget to check out Steven's Q&As that he's been doing with the Ashen Forge and the Tangents of Creation. And
they're great.
As well as head on over to our forums, forums.ashesofcreation.com. Send us your feedback. We would love to hear it. Our community team, Vagnar and Roshan, are amazing and put together wonderful reports for our teams. We also have our monthly cosmetic swap over, Charms and Good Fortune, that will be ending on August 9th. So if you want to grab those, snag them up. And of course, thank you so much to our viewers, to all of you for joining us live here. And for those of you on YouTube who are watching later, we appreciate you so much. We hope that you enjoy following our development process. And, it's not for everybody, but it is what we are doing so that we can showcase along the way the journey of creating Ashes of Creation. And of course, thank you to Dr. Bucky and Trad for joining.
Is he a real doctor?
As well. And we hope that you all have a safe and healthy rest of your month. And we'll see you next time.
Woo.
Make sure to follow us on all the things. Bye.
Follow us on our things. Yep. Well, what a live update, right?